talk about how we as a society really expect so much of women. Like, every time that these like reality TV shows start sort of infiltrating, like, this is the reason why I comment on these things, because it is endlessly fascinating. Retro, thank you. You never have to send anything. None of y'all ever have to send anything. I appreciate you so much. Please just come and join. The second pronunciation, got it, Malika. And anytime that we start discussing these reality TV shows in a public space, hey Arun, the plot really gets lost for misogyny every single time. And it's because we expect so much of women in society that like men's shitty behavior literally goes unnoticed, like literally gets swept under the rug. Do you know what I mean? So when everybody thinks, Retro, really do appreciate you. Please don't feel pressure to send anything, y'all. It's all good. It's the fact that so many people are like, she's crazy, she's this, she's that, and like she should have known and she should have. But it's like the man literally invested days into love bombing this woman, right? He pretended like he was okay with everything she told him. He would over and over again go back to her, right? Because all of this is a game to him, right? Like his behavior seems more, we're talking about Huda and Jeremiah. So Jeremiah's behavior seems more like calm and stable because he's calculated, right? The reason that Jeremiah is not acting crazy is because his behavior is calculated. He doesn't really give a flying F about this girl, right? He love bombed her to the ends of the earth, but she was supposed to know that men do that, right? Mind you, when she brought this up to him, I remember, a lot of y'all won't remember, but I remember when she brought this up to him and she said, wow, men will just really lie, and they just don't really care. And he was like, what? What? Men do what? Who? Men what? Like, he was literally disgusting about it. So he gaslit her even about the inevitable eventuality about him lying to her and gaslighting her that he probably knew already, like right then and there, was going to happen. Okay, so this woman has been gaslit to the ends of the earth. Like, I literally cannot tell y'all how frustrating it is to watch like people crashing out on her now because she fell for his lies and because she was serious about finding something. So for any Jeremiah stands in here or anyone who's gonna like double down on Huda being crazy, please check my page. I have plenty videos calling her out. I have plenty of videos saying that, hey, this Pikmi behavior is not going to pay off. This man does not really like you, does not really care about you. And like, if you really knew your own worth, you would leave. So Adam says, Huda was playing with him from the jump. Why withhold having a kid? It's like a guy lying about a job. Funny you say that about a guy who doesn't really have a stable job and is not really able to, like, he did lie to her about having a job. He's like a part-time model and he lives with roommates. So he didn't disclose that to her and she was cool with it. He's no prize, all right? Withholding having a kid makes a lot of sense for a mother to do, because if she would have gone on there and said like right off the bat, like, yeah, I have a kid, like she told everyone, there is nothing preventing somebody who's like secretly a PDF file or something like that from like showing interest in her just because of that. Like, y'all don't understand that it is really, really important to protect children. And this was her way of protecting her child. Also, like, if if the Love Island producers, like, y'all have to think about this too. Like, the Love Island producers knew she had a kid. They could have actually told her to play it like this, because guess what? They knew. They cast her on this show, meanwhile knowing that that nobody else on the show was gonna have a kid, was gonna be in the same boat as her. And that the moment she told, like, if she would have said this, like, out in the open, like, hey, I have a kid, like, first night, whatever, she just would have never coupled up with anybody. So I think that was like a production thing. I do think Huda is the first mom to be casted. Although, to be fair, I haven't seen that much Love Island. I've only started watching the past few years. So y'all tell me, but I don't know. But it just seems like if production wanted that out there, she would have had to disclose it. Yeah, so people are acting like, even after, like, they're like, yeah, Jeremiah, he's so stable, he's so good at communication. He's literally not good at communication. He's a liar and a gaslighter. He sprayed his cologne on her bed, and Taylor was like, another man was like, that's extremely toxic. Also, to everybody who's like, Huda's like crying and like is obsessed with this man like 8 days in, whatever. Do y'all forgot about Taylor Kaylor that quick? Kaylor and Aaron that quick? Come on. Like, and it's not lost on me that Kaylor is a white woman. That's why intersectionality is important. Because everybody was standing with Kaylor last season, like, oh yeah, Aaron's such a jerk, etc. They had like the same amount of time together. Do you know what I mean? Like, hey, self-growth. Yeah, ZNA says Jeremiah will go back to her. He likes that toxicity. Exactly. And people will never be like, oh, he's fucking crazy. Because all that men have to do is just not act emotional in the way that we expect women to act emotional, right? So just because Jeremiah is over here not crying and like not like expressing his emotions in that way, y'all think that he's very like stable and measured and like a good man and like he deserves so much better. No, the fuck he doesn't. He is just planned out, calculated. Yes, it is scary how calm he is, self-growth journey. It really is. And like how he was like smiling when the whole time when he was like picking Iris behind this closed door or whatever, the whole time he was smiling all through his apology. He just can't help himself. Like, he has duper's delight. Yeah. Jupiter, the fact that I'm defending her, I'm not defending her. So I'm not defending her from a decenter men standpoint, okay? So I'm not saying that this is a woman who's decentered men and everything that's happening to her is a man's fault. What I am saying, okay, this is like the nuance that so few people get, and this is why it's so hard to talk to y'all sometimes. What I am saying is that behind every crazy woman, there is a man. She came on the island, she was not acting like this, okay? If that man did not love bomb her to the ends of the earth and back, she would not be acting like this. If this man did not promise her the sun, the moon, and the stars because he was so focused on winning that $100,000, she would not be acting like this. Okay? So that's what I'm trying to get at. And the fact that people are like, she's completely in the wrong and like, you're wrong to defend her. I'm trying to defend women in general. Like, the only self-aware takes I've seen on this situation is when people have said like, oh yeah, when I want to talk shit about Huda, but I remember how my last situationship had me acting. Okay? That's what y'all need to remember. Because we've all been there. We've all been, in that, like, our nervous system's not regulated. We haven't, and it's just fucked up that women have to be so cynical. And not only that, she actually tried to be cynical about all this. You know what I mean? We expect women to be like, yeah, well, you know, he's like, all of a sudden, he's not showing interest in you. All of a sudden, you know, like he's trying to communicate this. And it's like, yeah, but what about all the time that he's communicated something completely different, right? What about all the things that we didn't see? Right? We see an hour out of every 24 to 48 hours, you know? And so for people to say that like she's acting crazy, we haven't seen any of her confessionals. We've seen very few of Jeremiah's confessionals, right? It's very clear that production is trying to craft a narrative here. So yeah. Olandria saw it from the drop. Absolutely. Olandria is the only one that's like really called this out for what it is, and she was shut down, and she was shut down by Huda. Like, once again, I'm not saying that Huda is in a good place mentally, emotionally. Do I think it was good for her to come on the show? No. Do I wish she was voted off the island last night? Yes. I think she needs help, right? What I'm saying is that, once again, this man took this woman, right? And he treated her as an object. He treated her as a means to an end. He treated her as a means to that $100,000. And now that he's done his whole little dance, now that he's, you know, like basically built this woman up just to literally drop her off a cliff, right? This is what I always say. Men will lead you off a cliff if you follow them. And she followed him, and he literally pushed her off a cliff. And now he's standing there like, what? She's acting crazy down there at the bottom of the cliff. She's like screaming, crying, throwing up. It's like, you pushed her off of that cliff. Do you understand? He walked her up a mountain, and then he pushed her off the top of it. Yeah, I am probably describing some of y'all's last relationship, because the underlying thing that I want y'all to understand before you jump straight into these horrible misogynistic takes about Huda is that this is what men do. Men view women as a means to an end. Men view women as objects. And so and they know, men do this so often because they know they can. Thank you, self-growth. Men do this so often because they know they can. They know that they can, like, in Russian, we have this like expression that is roughly translated to like you're hanging spaghetti off of somebody's ears. So they know they can sit there and hang spaghetti off of your ears all day, right? And at the end of the day, you're going to be the one looking stupid because they're going to be like, what spaghetti? I don't understand. Like, I don't understand why you're upset. Why are you so mad? And it's like, because you promised me the sun, the moon, and the stars, and you brought me undercooked pancakes. Not only that, but to add insult to injury, when we sit down to talk about it later, your plate is full. Your pancakes are cooked. Okay, you have bacon, you have avocado toast on there, you have eggs on there, and you brought me 2 undercooked pancakes, and now I'm crazy, right? This is the same man who's like, once again, love bombing her because his only goal, y'all need to understand, the reason I'm faulting Jeremiah is that his only goal was to get on this island. He was calculated from the start, okay? And I'll get to the questions and the comments in just a second. I just have to say my fucking piece. He came on this island with a plan in mind. He said, I'm going to go for the girl that is the most my type physically, and I'm going to love bomb her. I'm going to make her believe. I'm going to future fake. Okay, by the time I'm through with her, this woman will be over here thinking that we're going to get married when we get off this island. We're going to be together. We're going to do long distance, all this kind of stuff. And he would have done this to absolutely anybody. Okay. And maybe, yes, maybe somebody with like a more stable nervous system, maybe somebody who didn't have a child, who didn't have so much at stake, right? maybe they could have handled it better. But that is not the point. The point is she shouldn't have to be so cynical. She shouldn't have to be so like so jaded that she should have expected this. Like, that's fucked. That's fucked up. This man literally came on here with a goal. And the reason he rejected, you know, Ulysses' kiss and, you know, didn't want to be coupled up with her and all that stuff is because he wanted to love bomb her. That's a form of love bombing, especially on Love Island. Oh, I'm not going to participate in the challenges. Mind you, that he went back on that. Like, he did start participating in the challenges. So all of this is very, very, very confusing. It's like, are you locked in or not? Like, what explains all of his actions? Think about it. What explains all of it? There's one simple explanation. It is not that Huda is crazy. The thing that explains all of his actions is that he came into this with a goal. He came into this not to be genuine, but he pretended like it. He played that role and he made her believe in that. Okay? That's what I'm faulting Jeremiah for. I think he is cold, calculated, and I think he sees women as objects and as a means to an end. And that's why he doesn't give a shit how much he hurt her. He doesn't give a shit about anything. And he's like, oh yeah, let me try this out with Iris real quick. And he's all smiles. He's touching her. He's hugging her, even though he was like, oh yeah, she's not my type, all this stuff. Okay, so yes, Huda is absolutely been triggered and she's acting out of that trigger. She is not ready to handle this. Absolutely. Yes, she came on the show, but also in her mind, she probably came on the show like to play a game, right? And I think that if Jeremiah just never got involved with her, or I think if she had, you know, like, picture her getting coupled up with Austin. Do y'all think she'd be acting this crazy? Right? The other dudes didn't do this to the other women. Do you understand? The other dudes didn't do this to the other women. And when people say, oh, it's not okay to name call people, is it okay to lie, love bomb, and future fake? Is that okay? That's not okay. So he's doing the push-pull thing. Exactly. So y'all are like, oh, calling him out of his name. Like, who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? I'll do it too. Because she's right. He is a bitch. He lied to her. He promised her the sun, moon, and the stars. And like I said, this is why you have to like keep in mind that we don't see everything, right? Bella went on Vile Files and she said, there's so much that y'all didn't see. They were a very strong couple. They are a very strong couple. They have a really good chemistry. And so it is perfectly normal for her to crash out, because if she was coupled up with another guy, right? If Jeremiah didn't insert himself into that situation, reject a kiss from somebody, lock in with her right away, promise her the sun, the moon, and the stars. If he didn't do that, if she was coupled up with anybody else from the get, this would not be happening. None of this would be happening. Behind every crazy woman, there is a man. This is the thesis. This is what I'm standing on. Okay, let me read some comments. Thank you all for agreeing. I really appreciate y'all. Yeah, Jeremiah spraying his perfume was crazy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Love Island has a history of people unaliving themselves. Absolutely. So we need to go easy. Like, everyone's got to chill the F out. Why are the girlies not telling her the truth? They have tried, but it is hard to get through to somebody, once again, who has been promised more than they bargained for. Like, even if she came, like, people don't understand, she could have come on the island with it in mind to that I'm going to play a game and I'm going to try to win, $100,000. She could have came to the island with that in mind. But when all of these things like happened and like she thought, because mind you, women are very Disney-fied. Women are very, like he did all the right thing. Like, yo, y'all don't understand. Like, he did all the right things. He did all the right things to make her believe that this was like a out of the ordinary kind of situation, right? That this wasn't him trying to win a game on Love Island. This was him finding somebody that he really likes and cares about. So that's how she was acting. The reason that he seems calm and chill and composed is because that was never true for him. He just wanted her to believe that. He didn't want to believe it. He never believed it himself. That's why she looks crazy and he does not. I hope it's clicking for some of y'all. But if the roles were reversed, no one would be blaming her for his behavior. What you mean? You really don't think that if a woman... First of all, this is why, like, y'all don't recognize... You don't understand, like, the patriarchy. You don't understand misogyny at its core. Because of course they wouldn't. Of course they wouldn't. They would absolutely be blaming her for his behavior if he was like crashing out. Y'all don't understand. Also, it is meaningless to men when women say things like that. You know, when women are like, oh, like, I really like you, like, da-da-da-da. They don't care. They only care how they feel. That's what y'all need to understand. Men don't care how women feel. That's why they make women look and feel crazy so often. Because they don't care how we feel. Does that make sense? They're not taught empathy. Empathy is caring how other people feel. Empathy is putting yourself in somebody else's shoes and thinking, so if I was just now torn apart from my couple on live television by America, in front of America, like that, all this stuff, and the person that was like promising me the sun, the moon, and the stars is all of a sudden sleeping in a different bed with somebody else. They make no effort to check in with me that night. They make no effort, whatever. Would I want them to spray their fucking cologne or perfume in my bed? The answer would have been no. The answer would have been, yeah, that will probably make it worse if you do that. But once again, Jeremiah is not empathetic. He's selfish. So he was like, oh yeah, that's a cute move, right? Because he wanted to keep stringing her along. And y'all act like she's crazy. He's maniacal. He's diabolical, calculated, cold, weaponizing therapy speak, weaponizing the fact that he's been to therapy where? If he's been to therapy, people are like, oh yeah, he's been to therapy. That's why he's trying to communicate in a healthy way. Spraying his cologne in her bed? Making her breakfast the next morning? Y'all are conflating things. Y'all are conflating things. I'm not a fan of either, but Jeremiah did not love bomb. He gave false hope. That's called future faking. And he did love bomb her. The love bombing happened right away. Right when he refused that kiss from Yulissa, it was over right then and there. He knew what he did. He fucking knew what he did. He wanted that girl to be locked the fuck in. That's why. And yeah, he doesn't care about her mental health. Because regardless, like, he could have sat her down and said, hey, like, there's a million things he could have done that would have been better than what he ended up doing. He is immature. He is not a good communicator. He's a shitty, terrible communicator. He, at no point does he effectively communicate with her in a way that is not crazy making. But once again, men know they can get away with this. They know that they can, like, close the door. They can whisper all these things in your ear. They can, like, build castles in your imagination, you know, and like, oh yeah, when we move back and like all this stuff. And then they go outside and in front of all the cameras, they're like, oh, why is she acting so crazy? Why is she so psycho? Yeah, okay, all the people saying zero accountability, you can go to my page and check out the videos that I have made about Huda. I'm by no means a fan of how she's handling things. What I'm trying to communicate to y'all is that it is absolutely not normal the way that you all expect her to just know that men just act like this, or that like mixed signals should just tell her that everything is over and that she needs to move on. You know, like how many rom-coms are out there right now where after like all these mixed signals and miscommunications and like the dude acting like a complete asshole and all this stuff, everything works out in the end, and like da da da. This is what women are growing up watching. And once again, expecting women to be on the level of like me, who's 33 years old, has done the work of decentering men, has done the like research, has done the, you know, has noticed all the patterns, has taken gender studies courses, has an emphasis in psychology, has an emphasis in sociology. You know, I study anthropology. I read nonfiction. I read like feminist theory, and expecting Huda, okay, to be like, yeah, this man is just like, that's crazy, right? Most women do not know this stuff or take an interest in it. Most women are fed media and propaganda that's like, that encourages the kind of behavior that she's having, that encourages the kind of interactions that she's experiencing. Do you understand? And for y'all to be like, oh yeah, she should know that men just do this, that's crazy. And once again, she kind of did allude to it, and he gaslit her. He gaslit her about that because he knew he was gonna do it to her. Jupiter, seriously. Like, either you're not understanding what I'm saying or you are not listening. So like, you just keep arguing. But I've already explained all these points. You guys need Jeremiah to be the villain so bad because you can't hold Huda accountable. I literally, once again, I have videos on my page that hold Huda accountable. What I am against is the misogyny with which people are treating this situation. They're acting like she is just crazy all by herself. She's not crazy all by herself. Okay, she's not. And to say that she is more mentally like ill or unstable than the man who is spraying his cologne in her bed, in her single bed, while he's laying up in bed with another woman the night after they just for the first time, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, if y'all want to be misogynistic so bad that you are refusing to understand this, then I can't help you, right? So Jupiter, take it somewhere else. Take it somewhere else. All you women, seriously, like, this is why we're not going anywhere. This is why, like, feminism is a joke to most people. Because y'all don't want to understand how, well, okay. It's, y'all don't want to understand how even these things that we see on, like, reality TV shows are influenced. These people's mindsets are influenced by the patriarchy. And the men and the women are influenced differently by the patriarchy. Right? So when Jeremiah is acting a certain way, we who have also been influenced by the patriarchy are perceiving it a certain way. Okay? We perceive him as being calm, cool, collected, a good communicator. He's just, you know, he's just trying to protect himself, whatever. And when we look at Huda, because we have internalized misogyny and because we have been brainwashed by the patriarchy, we look at her and we go, she's crazy for no reason. She's just a dumb, crazy bitch. And everything she's doing is because she's crazy. And every time she reacts is because, you know, she's crazy. Thank you, Ashley, the artista. Y'all don't even want to hold men accountable for grapes. So yeah, I don't know what I'm expecting, Ashley. You're totally right. We literally have a grapist in office as our commander-in-chief. So I guess I don't really know why the fuck I'm arguing with you dumb fuckers. I really don't. Because I'm about to crash out now. Like, I'm literally about to crash out on live. Because this is fucking crazy. Saying men don't know empathy or are incapable of it is the patriarchy. When did I say that, Vicky? I said men are not taught to be empathetic, and it's very clear that Jeremiah is not empathetic. I'm just calling it like I see it. Where is he empathetic? Where? Those of you saying you're in enemy territory, you absolutely are. We're not going to sit here and talk shit about Huda. Don't bring the enemy territory to me either, because I'm in enemy territory now, since y'all are here. Don't bring it over here. Grace, saying they're both the problem really discounts what intentions Jeremiah came into the villa with. Can you admit that Huda isn't perfect? Go to my page and check out my Love Island playlist and see multiple videos of me calling her out for her behavior. The only thing I'm saying is that a 25-year-old girl, a 25-year-old young woman should not be so cynical already, should not be so jaded already that she shouldn't be hurt by this. Do y'all understand? Do y'all understand that it takes years, 24, it takes years to decenter men and center yourself to the point of like really understanding. And what I really fucking hate, is how y'all will be like, they're both in the wrong, but you ignore the fact that people have different lived experiences. Men and women have different lived experiences. Okay? So when y'all say that they're both bad, or like, can you just admit that Huda did something wrong? Sure, I can. But here's the thing. Men will never have to go through the world like that. Men can almost guarantee that anybody that they love bomb, that anybody that is willing to kind of go past the first like 5 minutes of it, whatever, that person is wrapped around their finger now. That's how men live. Okay, that person will be loyal to them. That person will stand beside them. That person will like not listen to that person will like take them back, etc. That's why they fucking do it. Okay, it does not work the same for women. You know why? Because men are not in it like that. Men are in it. Men view women as a means to an end. 99.9% of the time. And to expect women to know that at the age of 24, and to expect women to be so jaded, to be so cynical is crazy. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Thank you. Men trigger reactive rage so the audience can say they're both wrong. And also, I wanted to see, let's travel back in time to Kayla and Aaron, and let me see that same energy for a white woman. Let me see y'all calling her fucking crazy, Hurricane Kayla. Nobody was saying that about her. She was acting the same fucking way. She was in tears. She was crying. She was screaming, fuck, like every 5 minutes. Okay, she was just as attacked. Or I mean, she was just as like crazy or whatever, but nobody was attacking her. So maybe check yourself. Maybe check yourself there a little bit. And yeah, people are not hearing me at all. I see y'all though that are. I see you that are. Because yeah, this whole like accountability has left the building. Accountability for men and their actions left the building a long time ago. Left the building when they invented the patriarchy. Okay? User says, but we have to learn at some point, though, if only just to protect ourselves. Yeah, what I'm saying is most women won't learn it until they've had these canon events, until they have, like, been through the ringer so many times. And once again, all of this will be seen through that lens of, like, why am I bringing race into this? Because it's important. Because people do not have the same reaction to white women that they do to, like, even just, you know, women that are a different ethnicity, right? And some of y'all are like, why are you bringing race into this? Because you haven't been around long enough to notice the patterns, apparently, and I have. I notice these patterns. I notice how people treat people differently, even when they're just, like, a little bit not white. That's why we talk about intersectionality, because, like, this is why I said, you know, like with Huda and Olandria, when they had that conflict, people were automatically on Huda's side, right? Because that's how racism works. Like, anybody that has, like, the darker skin color is people don't feel as much empathy for. That's, like, the plain and simple truth. People don't feel as much empathy for, people don't side with as much, people can't see their perspective as much as when it's a white person. Like, I don't know how to tell you this. I don't know how to tell you why, like, I make the same type of content as other, like, Black female creators on this app, and my content gets pushed out more than theirs, or, like, I have no problem with, like, appealing the content, you know, violations or whatever, and, like, they always come back clean. Like, I can't explain that to you unless you understand racism. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's just how it works. That is how it works. Colorism, yes, thank you. That's what I'm saying. It's colorism. Like, it's beyond, it's, like, within. It's a thing within racism. And so people of color do it too. That's kind of the other thing, you know? And so two things, like, multiple things can be true at once, you know? So what happened with Huda and Olandria is at one of the first recouplings or something like that, all the men except for Jeremiah stood up to be recoupled, because frankly nobody else in the villa even had any chemistry together, so everybody stood up to be recoupled. And Huda was like, oh, y'all need, I don't like this, y'all need some real men. And I made a video, I said those are going to be your famous last words. So to all of those who think that I'm, like, didn't have, you know, smoke or criticism for Huda, I absolutely did, and I absolutely still will. But we need to get back on track, right? This is the point, I guess this is the point of the show this year, where we veer off the tracks into misogyny. This happens every time. I was literally sitting there, like, talking about this with my husband last night. I was like freaking Jimmy and Chelsea from Love is Blind. Every time, right? The man gets to act fucking crazy and everybody hates the woman. Nick and Hannah. Right? Were these women perfect? No. But the men that they were with literally did crazy making behaviors. And that's what caused them to lose their cool. Okay? God, it's so frustrating trying to explain this to people, but I will keep trying. Self-growth, thank you. I see you. Really appreciate you. Okay, so Rajeen says, what do you think about her actions towards other women? When it comes to conflict between women, and you go far enough upstream, there is a man. There is a man. Should women act better towards each other? Yes. But this kind of stuff does not happen without a man up the stream. Okay. This is layers on top of layers. Yeah, thank you, Aylin. And so for some of y'all, you're not going to be able to keep up. Please leave the chat because I'm just going to stop acknowledging you. If you can't keep up with the layers of all this, this is not for you. You can't hang. All right. Yeah, so part of it is internalized misogyny, of course. Part of it is insecurity. Part of it is the fact that, once again, this man promised her the world, the sun, the moon, and the stars. And then, like, at random moments, just starts acting very nonchalant. That is what's not okay. That is what drives women crazy. That is what causes women to act out of their behavior, to act out of their frame, right? Because men literally will shit test you. You know what I mean? Yeah, on day one, he set the bar so high. Why are we acting so dense? Thank you, Aylin. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. It's literally like a bait and switch. You know, he said this and this. And yeah, people are like, yeah, withholding the fact that she had a kid is crazy, whatever. Once again, I think that was a production decision. I think that was, yeah, I think, I can't really speak too much on that because I understand why she would have wanted to not disclose the fact that she had a child right away, or maybe it was on production to be like, look, nobody's going to want to couple up with you if they know you have a kid, but we casted you anyway, and we think this is going to like really shake things up. So people underestimate how much of this is like not scripted, but like the pieces are put into place a certain way so that the pins can fall a certain way, right? They set it up so that the dominoes can like fall a certain way. They couldn't have predicted, right? Like this is the funny thing, right? They might have told her, hey, you know, maybe don't make it such a big, like, maybe don't like announce that you have a kid or whatever. But what they couldn't have predicted is that Jeremiah had this whole master plan, right? This is another thing I always say about reality TV is that all the men, or there's always at least one man that comes on the show who thinks he's going to pull off the next great reality TV heist. Okay, he literally thinks he's going to come in there. He has a plan that nobody's ever thought of before, and he's going to be the one to pull it off. And every year, this causes a lot of pain and hurt and drama because this is just what men do. They treat women as a means to an end. They treat women as objects. Yeah, Corey, but you're so right. And I'm going to follow you so I can see that video. I love Island takes. It's the point of the game. Yeah, of course, it's the point of the game. But as the audience, like, people are not understanding, like, I think people underestimate, like, I think these people constantly underestimate the audience, and they underestimate how hard it is to actually fool people. You know, they think that we're all stupid. Gracie, hiding a child is so manipulative and evil to me. Gracie, you clearly, well, okay. Do you have a child, and have you had to deal with men while having a child? Because let me tell you something about evil and manipulative when it comes to men and women having children. Let me tell you about all the men that get with single mothers just to assault and abuse their children, just to get to their children. So no, it's not manipulative or fucking crazy. It is Common sense. Common motherfucking sense. I believe Huda should leave immediately. I do too. Like, I don't think this is good for her mental health. I think this man is going to keep stringing her along, and I think that like she's not ready for this, right? Her nervous system is definitely not set up for this. But the fact, once again, the fact that we are expecting, the fact that we are like, well, Huda, don't you see? Like, what's wrong with you? It's like, do you guys understand how cynical and jaded and like already and just like educated for like beyond her years she would have to be to predict all this and to see it for what it is? Right? It's like she's trying. She's definitely trying to act unbothered. She's definitely trying to act like, yeah, I'm not going to take him back or whatever. But the point is that most women are not like on an intentional decentering men journey. Most women want to find a man, and that shouldn't be wrong. Like, yes, we've gotten to this point in feminism where it's like, you don't need a man. Like, most women have realized that most men ain't shit, right? Some of us have been here for a long time, but some of us are still at the restaurant. Some of us are still waiting for our Disney prince. Some of us are still waiting, you know, to experience like love. And that's not crazy for women to want that. It's not crazy for women to like, for women to fall for love bombing when that's basically everything that rom-coms teach you, everything that our media teaches you. Songs, movies, all of this stuff, you know, there's like this grand like picture of romance and this grand like expectations, right? And then comes along a man, right? And it seems like she's only ever dealt with F-boys before. And here comes this man who's like, oh, I'm dead serious about you. I'm dead serious. Like, I like you so much. I wasn't expecting, you know, this, whatever. And she's like, okay. And she even said, like, is he love bombing me in the beginning? Like, she tried. You know what I mean? She tried. But the love bombing was stronger than her logic. And once again, I'm just going to tell y'all, once again, it takes a very, very, very high level of cynicism to properly deal with men that I do not expect a 24-year-old to have. And you shouldn't either. So everybody's saying like, oh, we're infantilizing her and like feminism wouldn't infantilize her. Please check my page. Please know that I'm a real ass feminist. Like, I hold women accountable, everything like that. I'm just saying that the things that we have come to see as normal to hold women accountable for is fucked up. It's fucked up. It's not okay. Okay? The things that we tell women, oh, he lied to you, we'll just get over it. You know, he lied to you, he future faked, he love bombed, he painted a whole picture like in your mind. Why are you like breathing heavy? You're sitting there like your chest is rising. Like, God, you're such a Pikmi. Are y'all fucking serious? Have you ever dealt with like an abusive parent? Have you ever dealt with like an abusive situation? Very clearly you haven't. Very clearly you haven't. Because this is the kind of stuff that will really fuck with your head. And for us to expect her to like play it cool and stuff, like, that's crazy. And once again, everybody's saying this is a game show, this is a game show. That does not justify, right, him love bombing her. It does not justify him not like, do y'all understand there's emotional abuse, Jupiter? Do you understand that emotional abuse is a thing? Love bombing is very abusive. Future faking is very abusive. Because these things, people don't understand that, like, just because somebody's not hitting you in the face doesn't mean you're not being abused. Spraying somebody's perfume, spraying your cologne in somebody's bed is extremely toxic and abusive. Yeah. And then we're seeing reactive abuse. We're not even seeing her abuse him directly, right? Like, we're just seeing her like freaking out. We're just seeing her have an uncontrolled reaction. And everybody's like, she's fucking crazy and let's be misogynistic towards her. That's our answer. They're both abusive and toxic. I don't think so. I think he is abusive and toxic. I think she's reacting to that. And let me tell you something. Let me fucking tell you something. If she was abusive, she would be the one that's calm right now. She would be the one that's calm right now. She is not abusive. She is confused. She is scared. And she literally does not know what happened. So for her to be over the top with her emotions means actually that she's not the abuser. You dumb fucks. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But she's not the abuser. The calm demeanor, that's the exactly who's pulling the strings. Who just said that? V24 Gold Star. The calm person is always the one pulling the strings. And y'all cannot fault somebody for their nervous system freaking out. Okay? For their nervous system freaking the fuck out when they have been just pulled back and forth in every way. And then he literally used and discarded her behind a door. Like, look at her down there. He used her and discarded her. Now he's moving on like it's nothing. He went and stood behind, Jalen. Yeah, he's just in it to win the game. But here's the problem. But he made her believe that he wasn't. He made her believe that he was in it for real. Anna Paul says, that's not true. Calm people, especially defeated, are victims. That's after years and years and years of abuse. The first couple times that you get abused like this, especially when you don't have a history of that, or especially like, because she gives me just like, I'm just a girl vibes, she gives me like, maybe there's some kind of like patriarchal dynamic in her house, or like religiously there's a patriarchal dynamic. And so, but it doesn't seem like she is very familiar with abuse and how that feels. Do you know what I mean? So I think oftentimes it is actually the person who's like freaking out that is being abused. And the person who's like, yeah, I don't know, like, look at her over there. Like, this is fucking crazy. It's like, what the fuck did you do behind closed doors? What the fuck did you do that this person is acting like this? It's crazy. It's called crazymaking because it makes you act crazy. Let's fucking get that through our heads. And it's so misogynistic for y'all to not realize that a man is upstream of this. It's misogynistic. And for people, and the perfect victim thing that whoever just said in here, right? It's the calm and like defeated, whatever. Why should a victim be calm and defeated? You don't have to be calm and defeated to be a victim of abuse. That's a fucking crazy thought. That's a crazy thought. People that are abused have the right to defend themselves. People that are abused have the right to a reaction. And this is the fucking reason why y'all didn't want to believe Amber Heard, why y'all didn't want to believe Blake Lively, because when women stand up for themselves, when women take up space, that means they can't be a victim, huh? That means she's not a victim. That's the patriarchy talking, and that is your internalized misogyny talking. When a woman stands up for herself, that means she couldn't have been the victim, huh? When a woman has, a reaction to the abuse, she couldn't have been a victim. Kiala says, so if a woman knows that a man is an abuser and still gets with them, what do we call them? She doesn't know. So that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. She doesn't know. That's why she's confused, and that's why she's acting out of frame, because he broke her frame. Do you understand that? He took her out of the frame, and now she has nothing to go back to, because he destabilized her so bad that she's like, where do I go? Like, where do I turn? He isolated her from all the guys, right? And then threw it back into her face. How many guys have pulled you for a chat? Well, none, dumbass, because you marked your territory. People don't understand, like, women are not the ones that mark their territory. It's men. And just so you know, the reason no guys were pulling Huda for a chat is because of Jeremiah. And he damn well knew that. He damn well knew that. So what do we call a woman who knows that he's an abuser? She doesn't know. She was confused why they got broken up. She was confused about everything because she doesn't know. And also, it's once again, it's crazy that women are expected to, by the age of 24, to know all the signs. See, this is what y'all are not getting. These are the same people shitting on Bonnie Blue and whatever. Bonnie Blue could not exist if there were not 10,000 men, right? Bonnie Blue would have no job if there was not thousands of men lining up outside her door, okay? Young women should not have to know all the signs of abuse because they should not expect 9 out of 10 men to abuse them. Do you fucking understand? That's why they go through life. That's why we call these things a canon event. That's why we say your frontal lobe isn't done forming, because you're not yet picking up on the pattern recognition. You're 24 years old. That's why. That's why we don't call her anything. We call her an abuse victim. Because women who know that they're with an abuser, and you have to understand what it is to know. To know means to accept a lot of things that women are not taught to accept. It goes against all of our socialization, right? To believe that 9 out of 10 men are going to lie to you, cheat on you, abuse you, whatever. But y'all expect her to move like she knows that. And she's 24 years old. Vicky says, but if Jeremiah love bombed any other women in the villa, would they react this way? Probably. Probably, because he love bombed her way more. Y'all don't understand the gap between Jeremiah and Huda's relationship and all the other couples, right? There's a huge gap between where they're at and between where all the other couples are at. Like, they don't really have any real chemistry. They're all kind of like whatever. They're just trying to do the best with what they've got. There's a huge gap. Okay. But yeah, I think if he would have locked in on somebody else like that, would have been just as hard for them. They might have not. So this is what I'm saying. Like, when Huda's triggered, yes, it reveals her shortcomings, right? But if she wasn't triggered this way, she would not be acting like this. She has things to work on. She does. But we're acting like the man who orchestrated this behind closed doors is better than the woman having a reaction to that. Than the woman having a reaction to, you literally isolated me. You promised me the sun, the moon, and the stars. Then to just act completely nonchalant. Especially after you found out I had a kid. It's all been downhill from there. And now, so now she's been triggered, right? Now. But his behavior was okay. This is why y'all are not making it out of the patriarchy. Some of you that are saying this is a crazy take, just know you would be, first of all, just know that if you don't understand what I'm saying and what I'm fucking talking about, you would be Huda. That would be you. That would be you, because you don't understand what I'm saying, and you need to. You need to think about this. Some of y'all think, oh, I would never act like that, and she's crazy, and this is a bad take. How old are you? And check back in with me. Check back in with me in a few years. There's like more people than usual in this live, which I love, but I'm not keeping up with the comments very well. Zubaida says, honey, I'm 24 and clocked Jay from the beginning. So she should too. She should be that. This is what y'all are not. Again, I keep trying to explain. I keep trying to explain. This is why y'all are not making that out of the patriarchy. Because you really don't have compassion for other women. You act like men. The same things that y'all are saying about Huda is how men act. They're like, it was her fault. It's her fault for acting crazy. Yeah, Natalia, good point. If the whole villa was so against her and victimized by her, they would have voted her off. I really think that they were like, this is not okay. I really think that it was like a moral decision, because they've like, I don't know. I really think that like everybody knows what he did. Like everybody kind of understands at their core, even like Nick, even all these people, they understand that what he did is shitty. And the reason they kept her around was that she could have some kind of closure. She could get some kind of a lick back. I don't know. But they were like, this would be really unfair. Thank you, Shay Shay. I see you. Yeah, Berg says, and then they have this condescending, calm tone when you bring up issues. That's exactly what Jeremiah was doing. And she just kept trying to tell him, like, you hurt me, bro. You hurt me. And he was just like, he had nothing to say. He had absolutely nothing to say for himself. He had absolutely no excuse, because once again, he's really just here for one reason. He's really just here to, he's really just here to like calculate every situation and try to win the money. That's all. Everyone's saying I would never act like that. Okay. Okay. Sure, Jan. Yeah, for everybody coming in here saying they're both in the wrong, we've already been over this, but I'm going to explain it one last time for those in the back, the people who just showed up. They're not both in the wrong. Y'all sound like the people saying Amber Heard and Johnny Depp were both in the wrong. There's something called... Actually, I don't like to call it that. It's called reactive abuse, but really it is just a reaction to abuse. And some people don't understand that. They look at it and they go, these two things are the same. And that's because you lack depth. You lack the understanding. You lack the education. Okay? You lack maybe the experience. Okay? As somebody who was raised by a very toxic parent, a very narcissistic parent, I can tell you that acting crazy is sometimes all you can do. Acting crazy is sometimes like all that you have left. All right? you absolutely lose your marbles trying to explain this to people that don't empathize, that have no concept of empathy, like Jeremiah. Y'all see him as cool, calm, and collected, and like well-spoken and really communicative, when he has shown you no evidence of that. He sits there and listens to this woman pour her heart out, and he has nothing to say. He has nothing to say other than Iris isn't really my type. He has nothing to say to her saying, you hurt me. He has nothing to say to that. He's very clearly just trying to like let her down. Like he's done with her, right? And that's what she's not getting. But again, for her to understand this, she would have to be cynical and jaded. She would have to have had all the experiences, right? Like this is why men, and once again, for all you pseudo-feminists in here saying both sides, get the fuck out of here. Because this is why men go for younger women specifically. Because they will have not had these experiences. Because men want to do the same thing to all women. But by the time that women turn, 30, whatever, they have had these experiences, and they're now, yes, they are now deeply cynical. They know what to look for. They have the pattern recognition. They have had the experiences, right? This is why men go for the 24-year-olds. This is why men go for the 23-year-olds. Okay? Because they don't know. He's playing the game, but both are wrong. He's not playing the game. He's trying to cheat the game. That's what y'all don't understand. And that's why the guys were mad at him, because they were like, hey, you're not playing the game. So again, we as women are supposed to expect men to act shitty. When we have complaints about how men treat us, we say, people say to us, well, you were there, weren't you? You were there. And that's what's fucked up, because women are supposed to expect the shittiest behavior from men, somehow shield themselves from it, and also somehow not have a reaction to it. You're supposed to just roll with it. Quariba, thank you. I don't know how you have the patience for real. I don't. That's why I start yelling. Makeup tutorial. I will one day. I promise. I switch up my makeup products a lot though, to be honest. Like, I can show you the products if you're still here. Let me know. So crying over him pulling a chair out. Again, y'all don't understand. It's not about the chair. It's about the fact that he like literally was so locked in with her. He gave her, I'm about to pull my hair out. He gave her he gave her no opportunity to couple up with somebody else. By locking in with her from the get, he gave her absolutely no recourse, right? So now she's stuck on this island while he moves on like nothing ever happened. He's coming down the stairs with this girl. He's pulling out the chair for her. He's like doing everything that Huda has been asking him to do, being nice and all of those little things. And she's like, oh my God, this dude just fucked me over so bad. So bad. And then she crashes out. And y'all are like, she's the bad guy. He left her with no recourse. He isolated her, love bombed her, future faked her. And now he's discarding her. This is the abuse cycle. Then he pulled back. First he pulled back majorly with no explanation. And now he's discarding her. Cold and calculated. Yeah, it's literally not about the chair. Vicky, you already asked this question. What about Huda's treatment toward others? Do you think it's also caused by Jeremiah? Yes. I do think when women, any conflict between women can be traced back up to a man. You go far enough upstream, you will trace it back to a man. I'm not going to get into like some of my deeper feminist takes on this live because y'all are not ready. But just know that that's how I feel. Dawn says, what was stopping her from pulling people for chats? Be serious. Jeremiah. Like, Jeremiah. And I'm telling you, y'all did not see, we see 1 hour out of every 24. We see 1 hour out of like every 48. Okay, so Live in Real says, you recognize patterns, right? Huda's a narcissist. Tell me what are the patterns, because I do, and I know narcissists very, very well. And I can tell you right now, Huda's not a narcissist. She is just a very confused young woman with a poorly regulated nervous system. She was probably raised in like a religious household. Also had a child when she was young, and I do believe that people have a lot less opportunity for like self-growth and like working on themselves, obviously, once they have a kid. Like, unless you're like a celebrity and you have nannies and stuff, like you're probably not like focused on yourself too much. So I think that feminism, right, is not about equating out men and women's actions, because men and women, as Kamala Harris has said, we did not fall out of a coconut tree. We exist in the context of everything that came before us. So when men treat women a certain way that they know they can get away with, that's one thing. And then when women take that treatment and react to it, that's another thing. But both things actually exist, and both things need to be taken into context. Yeah. So some of y'all are confusing narcissism with anxious attachment and emotional distress. And y'all will say that about any woman for doing anything. So many people are calling Amber Heard a narcissist when she literally like was just trying to defend herself. So many people were calling Blake Lively a narcissist. Also, even if she was a narcissist, nobody has the right to treat her that way. You guys are acting like she deserves it. Like, nobody deserves to be abused. She did not ask for this. She did not ask him to not kiss somebody. She did not ask him to like lock in with her like that. Y'all will call a woman a narcissist for anything, for existing. Magic Mike says her behavior towards the other girls is unjustifiable. What behavior? What behavior towards the other girls? Yeah, now people are calling me manipulative. That's what I'm saying. Y'all will call a woman out of her name for anything. Anything. But you want to talk about she called Jeremiah out of his name. You guys are over here calling her a narcissist, calling me a manipulative. But no, it was so wrong. It was so wrong for Huda to call Jeremiah out on his actions. Rajin says, did people make the right decision by coupling up Jeremiah with Iris? Look, to me, if it gets Huda from point A to point B faster, then yes. But I also think a lot of people did that out of misogyny. Guys, no matter how many times you tell me I'm wrong, like, you're in the wrong live. Go find a live that's over there hating on a woman. Like, please go find somebody more misogynistic than me and be happy with their take. I really don't know what else to tell you. I will never come on here and be misogynistic towards a woman when a man is performing crazy making behavior towards her. If you are in enemy territory, then leave. Do not bring your enemy territory to me. Okay? Do not bring that shit over here. Color with Lily says, what is your prediction for them in the next episode? I think Taylor not Swift. I get comments like every 3 seconds. I get like 10 comments. So my prediction for them in the next episode is I think Jeremiah is going to keep, he's going to stick to the discard phase. Like, I think he's fully discarding her at this point. And I think that's going to cause her to crash out more. That's my prediction. Oh, thank you, Slam Diego. All right, let me try to catch up on some of these comments because now I'm getting called out. Fabintekel says, do you think Huda has done anything wrong independent of Jeremiah? We'll never know. That's and see, you've encapsulated my point so fucking perfectly. This is the thesis. Behind every crazy woman, there's a man. Do I think she's done anything wrong independently? We'll never know. We will never know because he locked in with her right away. He love bombed her. He future faked. And we will literally never know what kind of person she is now because you cannot judge somebody in an abusive situation. Do you understand? You cannot judge somebody who has been lied to, who has been used as a means to an end, and then discarded. You cannot judge them independently of that. All right? I've been out of my narcissistic abuse situation for many years now, and I've had to rebuild my entire identity, right? So that's what I'm talking about. And for somebody who has not experienced that kind of abuse, for somebody who's maybe only experienced F-boys or aloof guys or whatever, for somebody who hasn't been love bombed to hell and back, for somebody who, and I think that Jeremiah is one of those aloof, distant guys, on the regular. I think he pulled out all the stops for this. I think he pulled out all the stops. I think he said, this has potential. This thing has wheels. And I'm going to ride this till the wheels fall off. And now that the wheels have fallen off, he is discarding her. That's what y'all don't understand. And so, but that's what it was to him, right? She was just a vehicle for his success. She was the firewood with which he tried to stoke the flames of his success. And to her, once again, because he told her that this was real, he told her that, he had serious intentions with her. When she told him she had a kid, he performed a calculation. Instead of reacting genuinely, instead of being like, oh shit, I'm actually judging you really hard right now. I can't believe you have a kid. Can't believe you came on the show with a kid. I don't want to take care of another man's child, which is a phrase that's his words, not mine, right? Once I get the over the negativity of caring for another man's child, were his exact words. Instead of being upfront with her about that, he made a calculation. He said, if I drop her now, there's nobody at this point. Do you understand? He did the calculation. And the reason why he settled on Iris to discard Huda is because it wouldn't work with any of the OG girls. right? Because they were all there when he was love bombing her to heaven and back down, to the moon and back. They were all there when he walked her up that mountain, and they were all there when he pushed her off. And now everybody's looking down at her at the bottom of the cliff, and she's freaking out, she's crying, she's hurt, she's confused, she doesn't know where to go next, and everyone's like, damn, fucking crazy bitch. If that's how y'all want to act, that's fine. Just know you're a misogynist. Just know you're misogynistic. No, Mia, he's not choosing peace. He is discarding her. He has never actually chosen peace. Was him spraying his cologne in her bed, was that him choosing peace? Yeah, Gigi, thank you. At what point was Jeremiah honest with her? What healthy boundary did he set? None. None. He's not exactly. Who said that? Sarah Grace. Sarah Grace, gold star. He's choosing peace. He created chaos. Exactly. I'm not debating anybody about this. Y'all are delusional. I cannot, like, this live, some of you are in the wrong fucking live. If you want the shallow take on this, I can absolutely sit here and tell you they were both in the wrong. If you want the shallow take on this, go somewhere else. I don't have a shallow take for you. I have a take for you that is nuanced and that takes understanding of existing structures. Some of y'all want to believe that men and women exist in a vacuum. Some of y'all want to believe that we exist somehow outside of the patriarchy. Some of y'all want to believe that there's no context to Love Island. There is context. There's always context to everything. I don't need mods. You guys can hate on me all you want. I don't care. I literally don't care. I'm not going to sit here and try to explain pearls to pigs or whatever. Do you understand? Like, I'm not going to sit here and give y'all a basic understanding of, I mean, I already did that. So you're going to have to go on YouTube and watch this if you missed that. But I actually already did that. I gave you the basic framework of how everything operates. I gave you the basic framework of the patriarchy. This is not just my opinion. This is not. See what would be easy to say in terms of like my opinion would be Huda's acting crazy. That is like on the surface, that is factual. But some of y'all do not want to understand the underlying causes, and I can't help you. I can't help you. I'm not trying to normalize any behavior. What I'm saying is that men's shitty behavior has been so normalized that y'all are blind to it. Do you understand? Do you understand that everything that Jeremiah did is the kind of behavior that is normalized in men that y'all take for granted? And y'all want Huda to be cynical, experienced far beyond her years, and jaded to the point where she knows all this, walks away quietly and calmly like she hasn't been, once again, isolated, love bombed, future faked, and then discarded. You guys want her to act like none of that ever happened. Just because Jeremiah can act like none of it happened because it was all fake to him, that's how you know that he is the motherfucking abuser. That is how you know, because he's acting calm, because he is the one pulling the strings. She is crashing out because she believed him. She's crashing out because she has been, do you understand the whiplash of all of this? Do you understand the like psychological effects of this? Do you guys understand that people have taken their own life after this show? Do you understand that? Do you understand that she has a lot more at stake than the other contestants? Do you understand that that the way that Jeremiah set all of this up is unlike what anybody else has ever done on this island? Like, do y'all understand that she's not the weird one, he is? Do you understand that it's like not normal for the islanders to refuse the very first challenge, the very first like whatever like kiss thing? Like, that's not normal. That's not normal. What he did is not normal. And you guys want to act. And you guys want to act like these two things are the same. You want to act like everything she's doing, like actions don't have consequences to y'all. His actions, right? Her actions should have consequences. But his actions are just par for the course. And honestly, she tried. She tried. She was like, is he love bombing me? Right? She tried to bring it up to him that like, hey, this is what men do. This is so scary. How men will just lie to you. And how did he react? He made her feel crazy. He made her feel fucking stupid. The faces that he made, right, were like, what? Who? What the fuck are you talking about? That's what he did. He gaslit her. Not only that, but he very, very obviously started like pulling back and nagging her with his behavior. I will bring it up once again that when he made her those sloppy ass, undercooked ass pancakes with no protein, mind you, she's a literally like a, what is it called? A trainer or whatever. She's like a fitness girly. He makes her the worst, most sloppiest breakfast. And then later when they sit down to talk and you see his fucking plate in front of him, he has a gourmet meal with sides, eggs, pancakes, bacon, avocado. He has it all. What he brought her was two shitty ass pancakes. And no, he's not a victim. Men are not victims in a system that they are, he's playing her within the system that he's not a victim in. He's playing her in the system that he has an upper hand in because he knows, once again, he knows that he can say all this shit to her behind closed doors. He knows he can love bomb her quietly. He knows, once again, I will say, Bella went on a podcast and she said behind all the cameras, behind all the edits, what y'all are not seeing is that these two have had really good chemistry. They've had a really good relationship. So y'all are acting like she's crashing out over a man she's known for 5 minutes. But in reality, they have had more time together than most people will spend together in like the first 3 months of their relationship. You understand that, right? Being around each other 24/7 for even like 7 days in a row, that's a lot of time. That's time that you normally, like out in the real world, you wouldn't have that time. Imagine if every time you went on a date, you actually went on like a all expenses paid, like all inclusive vacation where all you got to do was like get to know each other, whatever. Now, I don't actually recommend that because men are dangerous, but like what I'm saying is if you had that, you would be like, it's just a different timeline, you know, instead of like, hey, let's meet up after work, let's do this and that. It's like, we're just there. Like, we're just there and we're locked in from the start. Mind you, who locked them in? Who locked them in? It was Jeremiah. It was not Huda. She was standing there like, I don't know what's going to happen. And he gave her every reason to believe that there was something more to this. Nobody does this on the island. Like, the people don't lock in right away like this, you know? So to go back to my like original point, like I said, he came in with a heist. He thought he was going to pull off the next great Love Island heist. And now that that's not working, he wants to pull back and discard her and make her behavior look crazy. And I'm not going to hold her accountable for her actions, because that's the same as holding an abuse victim accountable for their actions. Why would I hold an abuse victim accountable for their actions? This is what y'all don't understand. You don't have an understanding of abuse. You don't have an understanding of the patriarchy. You don't have an understanding of the forces at play. You don't understand the fact that we are taught to take men's horrible, disgusting, antisocial, psychotic, calculated, cold behavior as normal. And we expect women to move about the world like that. And when women move about the world innocently, acting like, you know, like taking the things that men say for like literally, right? Not assuming that all men are liars, right? We're not supposed to do that. So like, which do you fucking want? You know what I mean? Like, this is what really fucks with my head. It's like, what do you want? Are men good people, or should women just expect this kind of behavior? Is it not all men, or is it most men to the point where Huda should have been cold, callous, calculated too? She's the one losing her shit. And y'all are acting like that's abuse. She is being abused. Do you understand? That's emotional distress on your screen, and you're calling it abuse. Do you understand that? Do you understand that you're on the side of the patriarchy? You're just as cold, callous, calculated as Jeremiah, because you want her to see things from a perspective that only you can see it from, because you're not the one being love bombed. You're not the one being gaslit. You're not the one being future faked with. You're not the one who's like, most of whose relationship and confessionals people are not even seeing. That's not you. That's Huda. And the fact that they were both shocked that America like voted them apart or whatever, and then Jeremiah like didn't even check on her, didn't even do anything. Like, up until that point, like, they were coupled up, right? And he said, I was checked out. I had nothing left to give. And I promise you, thank you, Reina. Good to see you. And I promise you, what he really meant was, I checked out to go ahead and recalibrate this situation. And I decided that I'm actually done with you. I'm going to discard you, because clearly America doesn't think we're a good couple. And that was his whole plan all along. And then he recalculated, and I think was like, well, yeah, I'm not really attracted to Iris. I don't really have chemistry with her. Let me try and bark up this tree again real quick. But what he didn't want to do, is take accountability for what he did to Huda. So when she was like, no, you have to take accountability, he was like, no, fuck you. Thank you. Slam, thank you. That is what's so simple. Abuse may be an explanation, but never an excuse. Excuse for what? For her reaction? I'm telling it to you like it is an explanation. What's the excuse? Because you do realize that excuses Jeremiah. What about the abuser? What about the abuser that y'all are excusing over here en masse? But Huda attacks girls too. Once again, I have videos calling her out. I have videos calling her holding her accountable or whatever it is, literally go to my profile. Like, leave this live, stop fucking arguing with me, leave this live and go check my Love Island playlist and go see all the videos I've made about her saying this behavior will get you nowhere, this is Pikmi behavior, these are your famous last words. I had some very strong words for her in my video about her and Olandria. I've called her not a girl's girl. Whoever just said you're projecting your past relationship so badly, I don't think you realize how wrong you are. But also, even if I was, that's called pattern recognition. Like, this is why y'all hate women, I swear. Kiba says, how did he not take accountability? How did he? How did he take accountability? She told him multiple times, you hurt me. You hurt me. You didn't even check on me. We were coupled up. And instead of being like, hey, are you okay? Like, let me pull you for a chat. Like, let's figure out what we're going to do. Like, whatever. He literally was like, meh, I'm going to go to bed. I don't fucking care. If she did that to him, I want y'all to know you would have a very different energy. If she did that shit to him, y'all are embarrassing, honestly. Y'all are very embarrassing. Like, those of you that are still defending Jeremiah in the chat, I'm embarrassed for you. I hope you don't have to learn your lesson the hard way. But something tells me that you will. And stop having sympathy for men over women like this. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling men know what they're doing. This man knows what he's doing. He knew what he was doing from the very fucking start. That is what explains all of his behavior. Him being abused by Huda does not explain his behavior. This is what y'all don't understand. It's Occam's razor. The simplest explanation, the most fitting explanation is the explanation. Okay? So what explains, what is the common thread that would make sense of all of his behavior? What is that thread? Is it him being abused by Huda? Was he being abused by her when he rejected that kiss from Yulissa? Was she abusing him then? Was she abusing him in the days subsequent to that when he was love bombing her and future faking with her? Was she abusing him when she told him that she has a kid and he was dishonest with her about how she feels about that? See, y'all have all the love for Jer. Maybe he was exhausted. What the fuck do you think she is? Is she not exhausted? Do you understand the emotional whiplash of somebody telling you that they're locked in with you, that, you know, they have strong feelings for you, all that, having smex with you and all that? Do you understand the emotional whiplash of being discarded after something like that? Do you understand the emotional whiplash of watching that same man do the calculation of, oh, America tore us apart, you know, whatever. There's a good question in the chat. I'm going to come back to it. Hold on. Let me finish this thought. I forgot where I was going with it. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted. But somebody said, so behind a toxic and abusive man is a woman? No. Behind a toxic and abusive man is the patriarchy. That's what y'all are not understanding. This is why I fucking hate when people try to equivalize men and women like this. This is crazy talk, okay? This is why I say behind every crazy woman there is a man, and behind every crazy and abusive man is the patriarchy. So, because that is the trickle down. That's the trickle down. That's what you need to understand. People should not want to hurt each other. People have survived actually by being cooperative. And you know what throws the biggest wrench in that? The patriarchy. That's why I say you go upstream enough. God, I just really hope there's like anybody in here getting this, because I'm trying to be educational here, and like some of y'all, it's going to go over your head, you know? These are like the seeds that the sower planted, right? Some of them are going to fall on rocks because some of y'all's head is full of rocks. It's full of rocks. And I can't help you. You're going to sit here, you're going to argue with me, and I don't care. I can't help you. To those that have the ears to hear, please listen. Please, if you are picking up on this, because this is like a more popular live than usual. I get it. Everybody and their mom is here for some reason, and this is not my usual audience. But yeah, that's what's upstream of all this. That's why I say ultimately, when women are beefing, you go far enough upstream and you will find a man, because that is what the patriarchy causes us to do. It throws a wrench into the nature that humans have evolved to have, which is actually cooperative. This is why we have all of these narcissists and gaslighters and all of these psychopaths, all these dark triad people in power. Do you know why? Because the patriarchy hates cooperation. It hates when people get along. It makes, do you understand? And so what's downstream of that is everything. It's everything. It's Jeremiah's behavior. It's Huda's behavior. It's how Huda's acting toward the other girls. That's what is upstream. So, okay, this is why I say head full of rocks. Stop generalizing the situation. This is about Jeremiah and Huda. To quote Kamala Harris, do you think that they literally fell out of this island, fell out of a coconut tree onto this fucking island? Do you think that that is what happened? Do you think that people on the island, the rules of the patriarchy don't apply to them? Do you think that, like, when they play these games, right, where they have to guess people's like body counts or like how many people they've had sex with in one day, you don't think the reactions to all that are different for men versus women? You don't think the kind of things that happen on that show are imbalanced because of the preconceived notions that we have about how women should act and about how men should act? Am I crazy? I don't understand. I will not turn on the guest because I'm not debating this with anybody. I'm here to educate people that are ready to hear the take. People that are ready for the real shit. Okay? Some of you want me to come up in here and be misogynistic, and I'm not going to do that. Is Huda's behavior the behavior of a healthy, evolved, healed person? No. No. But that is not make it okay for somebody to abuse her and then the rest of us say, see, it was her. It was her fault. It was her fault because now she's acting crazy. The first few days, was she acting crazy? Did she make him refuse the kiss that locked them in as a couple? Was she standing there with a fucking, gun to his head? No, she wasn't. She never stood there with a GUN to anybody's head to make them love bomb her and future fake with her. She never stood there and did that. Yeah, the way he was smirking in the speakeasy was insane. Like, if y'all, and also some of y'all, I feel you're sweet summer children. I love you. I am so happy you've never been abused in your motherfucking life. I'm really happy you've never seen the smirk of a narcissist while they're discarding you. I'm really fucking happy that you have never been love bombed. I'm really happy that you have never been, just narcissistically abused. that you've never been exposed to crazy-making behavior. I'm really, really, really happy. But the reason I can see this is because this is abuse. And then y'all want to blame her for acting like an abuse victim. You also need to understand that, yes, like he probably locked in on her because she had a vibe about her that these fucking people pick up on, okay? They're both abusive. How is she abusive, Alex? How is she abusive? If y'all, once again, read the book, Why Does He Do That? Read up on abuse. Read up on abuse reactions. Her name calling is abusive. She wasn't name calling him to his face, first of all. Second of all, the name calling it is valid to call your abuser names because they abused you. That's like, yeah, Zara, I'm sorry. Zara says, I'm literally living this. And that's what I'm saying. People need to pick up on this. People need to pick up on this. If you're in enemy territory, leave. Do not bring my enemy territory to me. Please leave. I'm so fucking serious. If you are in enemy territory, if this is enemy territory to you, then you do not have the mind to understand what I'm saying. Rajin, you have some really good questions, babe. Thank you. Rajin says, if you were in Fiji, what would you have done for her? This is a canon event. You can't do anything. She thinks this man is in love with her. She thinks this is her fairy tale ending. She thinks that that they both went on the show to play games, but they found love because that's what he made her believe. Letitia says Jeremiah's a manipulator, but that's not what an abuser is. Read that again. Read that again to yourself and think about it a little bit harder. A little bit harder. I'm sorry. It's right there in your sentence. It's right there in your sentence. And then please, oh, you know what? Actually, do me a favor and look up the definition of abuse. And then if you don't find manipulation under that, get back to me. I know you won't, but get back to me. If you don't find manipulation under the literal textbook definition of abuse, then we can fucking talk. Okay? Thank you. I study psychology too. That's why I can tell you. Like literally, please look it up. Please look it up. And if the definition does not have the word manipulation in it anywhere, then we can talk. Manipulation is absolutely abuse. It is abuse, especially when you do it to this level. Okay, Charmy says, can you please tell us how being a Pikmi also contributes to this? So like I said, everything is downstream from the patriarchy, okay? Being a Pikmi is a canon event for women. There is no woman that has not gone through this canon event. I don't even care what like sexuality you are. You have probably still been a Pikmi to men, even if you're not attracted to men. There's no woman that's never been a Pikmi, because that is the basis of the basis of the patriarchy is that men are a prize. So every woman has been a Pikmi, and every man is also a Pikmi for the right man. We're all Pikmis to men. That's something that we have to like consciously work out of our system because we live under the patriarchy. Okay. So being a Pikmi is a canon event, but it is not a characteristic. That's what I want you to understand. It is not a character trait. It is a socialized trait. Just how men are not socialized with empathy, right? So most men have like narcissistic tendencies and leanings. Like they literally don't see the pain of other people. And I, again, like some of the things I say might sound extreme, you know, when I say them, but what I need you to understand is that the patriarchy is an extreme system. It's an extremely evil system. Sorry, y'all, I read a comment and I forgot what I was saying. Okay. Oh, but they're backed up by studies. Like, I actually have like scientific backing for this. When men do something selfish, the reward center of their brain lights up. When women do something selfless, the reward center of their brain lights up. With that in mind, does that paint the situation any differently for you? Does that paint Jeremiah's behavior any differently for you? Like, think about that, right? Yeah, thank you, Nikki. He made her emotionally involved and then treated her with an inhuman coldness. That's what I'm trying to understand. So, back to the being a Pikmi. A lot of women are socialized to be Pikmis. That is a canon event. That's something you have to intentionally work out of your system. But yes, being a Pikmi contributes to this, because being a Pikmi makes you more likely to believe a man when he's love bombing you, even if you question it, right? You are still not safe, because at the end of the day, you're still thinking, I got picked. And you're still thinking, this could be it. And you're not judging a man on his actions. You're judging a man on his words. And I say this all the time too, that these shows are actually a perfect backdrop for women to get gaslit and love bombed. Like Love is Blind, that's a perfect backdrop for women to get gaslit and love bombed. And every single time that we have to have the conversations like around misogyny and these reality TV shows, people forget that. People forget that men and women are socialized differently, and that men often just treat women as a means to an end. And so when we get to these points where the men have done their fucking best, right? They did their big one, as Leah would say, and they, have traumatized a woman, and now she's having a reaction to that, we're like, she's fucking crazy. This happened with Chelsea and Jimmy on Love is Blind. This happened with Hannah and Nick on Love is Blind. This happened last year with multiple people on Love Island. So that's all I'm trying to explain to y'all. So Jupiter, that's a good, or wait, is somebody responding to Jupiter? Yeah, so T, that's a really good explanation. It's acting out of a desire for male validation. Women are taught to crave and desire men's validation. And also women are taught that men don't lie about these things. Like, oh, men only say this stuff when they mean it, A lot of men act aloof, and so it makes the men that will come out and be real with you or love bomb you or whatever, it makes them look that much better, but they're not better, right? They're actually worse. Letitia, I can actually agree with you on that. All emotional abusers are manipulators, but not all manipulators are emotional abusers. I do agree that we have evolved certain manipulative tactics as humans, just kind of like how dogs have that thing where the dogs where you can see the whites of their eyes survived better than the dogs that had the beady eyes, because that we think that's cute. I do think that there is some validity to that, but I also think that saying that, oh, Jeremiah is just manipulative, he's not abusive, I think that's wrong. I don't think he was being manipulative, I don't think he was being innocuously manipulative. I think he was being maliciously manipulative. And I think that is normalized. I think it's normalized for men to think that it's normal to use women as objects or as a means to an end. And I think everybody's acting like everyone, including Huda, should know that. But again, when she tries to bring this up, whenever she tried to bring this up, Jeremiah literally gaslit her. He literally said, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what men are you talking about? Men do what? You know, she literally tried to be like, I don't know, like, men are kind of liars, like, whatever. And he was like, who? Who are you talking about? And to everyone saying, oh, it's a reality show, that doesn't change the fact that there's real people on it. It doesn't change the fact that she's a real person. And it does not change the fact that people have literally, and very sadly, unalived themselves after this kind of bullying from y'all. So I'm just here trying to fucking mitigate that. I'm here trying to mitigate the crazy misogyny that most of y'all are walking around with like it's motherfucking normal. That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, Letitia, I'm scared for her daughter and for her after the show too. I don't think she was in the right state of mind. Like, again, I think that she could have very well. People are acting like Huda went on this show to find love. Like, everybody went on the show to play games. But only one of the women was extremely, like, set up and gaslit by a man. No other man was doing what Jeremiah was doing. No other man did that. No other man was so locked in, so coupled up, so love bomby. None of them were. And so that's why the other girls are not having this kind of reaction. Only one of them is being made to feel crazy. What did you think when you saw Jeremiah kiss Yulissa on the cheek? I thought, this is trouble. I was like, this is not going to end well. Yeah, moi, thank you so much. If we canceled Chris Brown, the rapist and abuser, or Orange Man, double quarter cheese pounder man, the way that we're canceling Huda right now, the world would be a better place, and that's all I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say. Yes. Thank you, Radiant K. He was blindly loyal for no reason. Red flag. Red flag. And women are taught to see these things as a green flag, which is what she did, and now we're all shitting on her. Now we want to shit on her. He displayed all these green flags, and when she said, okay, really? And he said, really, for real, I'm locked in. She said, really? I have a kid. He said, really, we're good. He put his peen inside her. Like, y'all are acting like he wasn't there when they had Smex the night before this recoupling. Y'all are acting like he was not there, like putting his hands on her and like engaging her physically and all that kind of stuff. Y'all are acting like he wasn't there. Y'all are acting like she's literally no fucking reason to be like, to be upset. And it just lets me know that you have no empathy. Feminism starts with empathy for women because the patriarchy hurts us like this. Because we are expected to walk around the world with so much knowledge, with so much cynicism, with so much, experience that you simply can't have by the time that you're 24 years old. You can't. And I was trying to explain to people, this is why, like, even grown men will go for younger women simply because they know that women haven't had that experience yet. Tammy G says feminism has ruined women. And this is what, I think this is the kind of people I'm dealing with in this live. And I think that's why I'm getting frustrated because, Tammy, that's a fucking wild take. Like, I don't really know how to tell you this. Like, the patriarchy ruined everything. Feminism is just the answer to the patriarchy. Do you understand? Feminism has ruined women, and in the same, like, we live in a world where men are 98% of all rape perpetrators. 98%. They are 92% responsible for all violent crime. But feminism ruined women. No, you're right, Tammy. You're fucking right. Feminism has ruined women. That's right. It's not that the patriarchy ruined everything. It's not that men are being literally raised to be villains and unalivers and rapists. It's not that. No. Feminism ruined it. The answer to that is what's wrong. And this is who I'm dealing with. This is most of y'all that are saying she did a bad thing. Huda's the real abuser here. That's y'all. That's y'all. Feminism ruined women. Feminism is women finally, after thousands of years, standing up to rape, assault, murder, child marriage, financial abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse. But yeah, it ruined women. Feminism took away our wholesomeness. No, once again, no. The patriarchy took away our wholesomeness. Men's actions have taken away our wholesomeness. That's why women are not like in their feminine anymore. They never should have been. Never should have been. It should make you sad, Trisha. It should make you very sad. It makes me sad every day. That's why I do the work that I do. Because so many people don't get this. So many people are so quick to blame feminism for what? Where are all the feminists? Where's all the horrible effects of feminism at? Where are all the unalive men? Where are all of the abused men? Where are they? Go to a shelter. Who are they full of? Go to an abuse shelter. Who is it full of? Bye, Tammy. Okay, I'm going to explain this one last time and then I got to get off of here. But neither of them are victims. They both did and said things to each other. That's not true. There is a victim in the situation. Y'all need to understand that, like, two abusers together doesn't make sense. Do you understand? Like, an abuser always finds a victim. That's Jeremiah. Jeremiah, be it known to him or not, because I also think a lot of men act abusive without really that intention. They just don't see women as people. They see women as a means to an end because that's how they've been trained, right? Imagine growing up every day and you see men, like your peers, treating women as accessories. The kind of things that men say about us behind closed doors, y'all cannot even begin to imagine, just so you know. And any man that is a real one will testify to this. The kind of fucking shit that men will say about us behind closed doors is not to be underestimated. It is not to be taken lightly. Men literally see women as objects and as a means to an end. That is abusive. That is the abuse of a person, right? That is using somebody as a means to an end. And most men think that that's okay. And when women crash out over being used as a means to an end for a man who then discards them coldly, callously, without checking in on them, without anything like that, without giving them closure, without, acknowledging their wrongs, and then a woman crashes out, she's the abuser. And that's what's wrong with y'all. Yeah, using abnormally, you know, because he told her that he saw a future with her. MC, thank you so much. You've been so sweet. He told her he saw a future with her. He told her he locked in with her. He locked in with her right away, but it wasn't. And he made her believe that that was for a certain reason. Because if he would have just come out and said, you know, whispered to her, hey, I really want to win this. Can we just like lock in? He couldn't do that, right? Because then we would all know it's fake. And mind you, in that kid conversation, when she first told him she had a kid, I don't know how many people caught that. But what he said was, and you know, I'll be a lot more cool with it if we, you know, make it out of here, if we go the whole way. He literally alluded to, I'm just doing this for the money. I am here to talk about Jeremiah and Huda. I'm sorry. I know there's like Amaya, Ace, Shelly. I'll make separate videos on all that. I need to address this. We got to get off the track of misogyny. And if I've even changed one person's mind today, I'm giving myself a gold star. This was all worth it, because this is crazy talk. Like the fact that people are really saying, you know, Huda is like the crazy abuser here is wild. Wild. Okay, Alex, thank you. All worth it. Good, okay. Awesome. I just need people to understand the layers, because it's so easy for us. This is another thing that the patriarchy really wants to do, right? There is a hierarchy, but the greatest trick that the patriarchy pulled on women was the boss babe era of the early 2000s, you know, was this equivalizing of men and women. Oh, feminism is just about, you know, equality, and we treat women like we treat men. And this is what some of y'all fell for. This is why you can't see the real picture. We are not equal. We're not equal. There's thousands of years of oppression, right? There's thousands of years of like a certain kind of mindset being applied to men versus women, women versus men. Even, okay, like let's even bring Ace into this. If a girl was acting like Ace on the island, right? Like Yulissa was the female Ace. And just so y'all know, she would have been the most hated person on the show. But everybody loves Ace. Oh, Ace is just a messy. He's just a truth teller. He's just so sassy. Like, y'all love it. Y'all eat it up when men do the things that women are demonized for. That's what you do. Vicky says, but to change the patriarchy, do you not think we need to treat men and women equally now? Well, Vicky, let me give you a little parable. Okay. If there was a family, okay, and they had 2 children, 3 children, it doesn't matter, 5,000 children, and they had this tradition, right? Every night you get $1 or like 50 cents to spend on whatever you want. You can keep it under your bed. You can like spend it on candy the next day. You can like whatever. And the parents would do this every night. They would give each of their however many children the same amount of money every single night. That's society existing in a vacuum, okay? That's society as it should be. Everybody gets the same amount of money every night. But then you as the father, you as the mother, you as the set of parents find out that one of the boys has been going into one of the girls' room every night And because he is bigger or stronger or whatever, he's been bullying her every single night out of that money. He's been taking away that opportunity, that money, that inheritance from her just because he's stronger. Okay, this is force doctrine, according to Andrew Wilson. So, what do you do as a parent? From that point on, what the fuck do you do as a parent? Do you say, okay, Johnny, you can no longer take Jenny's, 50 cents or $1 every single night. You can't do that anymore. You guys are equal. Okay? She needs to be able to keep the money that we give her. Do you do that? Do you just do that and call it a day? You say, from here on out, we expect the things that we give you to stay equal. How does it not make any sense? What would you as a parent do? What would you as a parent do? Would you maybe give the girl a lock on her door and not the boy because he's not being abused by anybody? He's not being stolen from? Do you just call it even from there? Like, once again, do you just ignore all the money he stole from her? But before that, do you just ignore that? You just let him keep all that money? Do you make him give any of it back? Do you give her his? What if he already spent it? Do you give her his allowance for a certain period of time? What is the just thing to do? Exactly, you change the system. Equity, exactly. So you have to either put a lock on her door. You have to either maybe put the fear of God into your son, right? You either have to make him pay her reparations. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying let her steal from him. No, women should not be raping men to get back at them for the patriarchy. But yeah, you have to teach respect. So Vicky, how do you do that? It's not ridiculous. This is life. For women, this is life. We have been deprived of resources, opportunities, and everything else just because men are stronger and more psychopathic. Like, I can't explain this to you. They're less empathetic. They're not cooperative. Yeah, so how do we teach men accountability? How do you talk to them if they don't listen? I was a teacher for many, many years. And you know what? There's some kids that don't want to take accountability. There's some kids that are not going to be, the words are going to fall on deaf ears. And if you just talk to them and you let them go about their way, they're just going to keep doing it until there's actual consequences. Yeah, you have to guide the children, but you don't know where the children are coming from, right? Kids come into my class and that's the point where I start with them. They spend most of their time at home. Anyways, the reason this applies is because y'all act like all it takes for the patriarchy to go away is for us to treat men and women equally and hold them equally accountable. We have not been holding men accountable for centuries. What do you want to do with that? What do you want to do with how that has set up their brains to function? What do you want to do with how that has set up our society to function? It's the fact that y'all are calling Huda abusive and you're not calling Jeremiah anything for love bombing her, future faking with her, locking in with her, all that. That's not abusive. And then discarding her. That's not abusive, but her reaction is. That's what I'm saying. That's why I gave you the fucking analogy. It's like a parable. Listen and understand, because you're not listening. What I'm saying now is that I'm tired of the misogyny against Huda because we have been taught that it's okay. We've been taught that it's okay for men to do whatever they want. And when women have a less than perfect reaction to that, we blame the entire thing on them. But we never go back to what made her act crazy. Was there anything that he did? Exactly. Is he just getting a good edit? Do women act crazy like this for no reason? Do you think that if she would have coupled up at first, right, with anybody else who didn't do that shit, right? You picture Huda standing next to Austin. Austin is not the type of guy that's gonna like turn down a kiss from like one of the girls, like whatever, right? Like she would not be acting like this if nobody pushed her buttons, right? But when women get raped, when women get assaulted, right? It's like, well, what were you wearing? Why did you go there? Why were you at the club? Why were you drinking? Why? We expect women to be so radically responsible for themselves and everybody around them that we don't understand that sometimes the key to women's like unreasonable, unnatural behavior is a man like doing crazy making things. That is what it is. That's what it is. So I've explained this about 100,000 times this live, and some of y'all are not going to get it because you don't want to, because you hate women and because you have internalized misogyny. I cannot help you. I'm not justifying her actions. I'm explaining the situation. Something about chasing emotionally unavailable people. He was not emotionally unavailable. That's what y'all are not understanding. He was emotionally very available. Rose says y'all want an excuse to act however you want, and it shows. No, men want that, and you're giving them that excuse by being a fucking Pikmi for the patriarchy. That's what you're doing by blaming all of this on women. When you watch these things, when you have pattern recognition, when you have the education to understand, there is a lot to be gleaned here. And not just from the islanders, not just from the people on the TV shows, but it's how y'all are reacting to it. And that's what I'm trying to address. So I hope that this has been helpful. I hope that the class has enjoyed this. Please do not come here if you're not trying to be educated on what the things that I have expertise in. When you don't have expertise in those things, when you're just watching a reality TV show, like go to some other live. There's plenty of lives discussing this from a non-feminist lens. There's so many lives over here that are hating on Huda. You can go over there. You can go over there. And you'll notice that I'm not in those lives trying to argue with them because people are going to think what they're going to think. All right. I'll see y'all next time. I love you very much. I might be back here on Friday, but it might be more like next week because I got to make a bunch of content. All right. Love y'all. See you next time. Mwah.